what's up? Alright, in this video I'm just going to be explaining what my strategy is and how you can use this strategy to basically become profitable. And if you just, look for this setup over a long time, then you just keep repeatedly seeing it and catching it, and it's really high probability when it does show up. So basically, this is the setup that I use to get my payout. And what it is an inversion fair value gap is always going to be the entry, but there's criteria I look for before I get an inversion. There's lots of inversions on a chart all over the place, but there's things that make certain inversions way more probable than other ones. If you're confused on what an inversion is, go to our previous video I have listed out and watch that and come back. But for this strategy, high probability setup for me is a sweep on liquidity, buy side or sell side depending on the market context. So here we have that market open, came down. We have these lows marked out here. Bang, low. Market came down, swept here really hard with the wick here, swept liquidity. It already swept here once with this low, and then it opened and swept again on a new leg, so that's even higher probability. And then I enter on the 1, 3, or 5 depending on the market context. The 1 minute looked good for entry here. After the sweep, look for an inversion fair value gap. Bang, once the candle closes, that's my entry. Break even at an internal high. If it's not a good enough RR for me, I'll go deeper into my risk in a different video. But bang, I went break even here. This line here just means once price reaches here, I'm gonna move my stops to break even, meaning if price comes down from here and stops me out, I don't lose or make anything. And then I targeted these highs up here, these 8:32, 8:33 a.m. highs marked with this line, BSO. And why did I target these highs? Because it was a good draw on liquidity in my opinion. Because not only are there like multiple stacked highs here that need to be ran, we had the overall draw of the market that day being London session highs, and that's important. Session highs and lows will always be a good high probability draw in liquidity. And it also makes it better that we swept London lows here, and then now we're delivering to London highs. This is a really high probable setup that you can catch to become profitable and basically change your life. I'm not gonna lie. This is the setup that I look for every day in the market. If it's not there, I don't do anything. If it is there, I involve myself. And yeah, you can pretty much copy this trade and this setup criteria and really make things happen, start seeing change. I'm gonna show you the same setup, but for the short side of things. But this setup on short trade is a little bit different because we're missing one element, but sometimes that one element depends on the market context, right? The element I'm talking about is the box, the fair value gap from the left that we were like delivering from. This time we're not delivering from anything. It's just like a sweep on liquidity and bang, we deliver. But the reason I knew to take this and not have the other element included this time, meaning I was waiting for it to sweep into a fair value gap, is because of a strong liquidity point, right? These lows down here were more than just lows at the time. This was the low of day for this session at the time. So a good setup is a high of day to low of day, meaning this was the high of the day after when the market opened, 9:30. You can see right here. Market came down a little bit, put in the low of day, came up, swept high of day, and then we instantly got a reaction after that. And when you see speed and like it's in the market like that, with this setup, you're just down, or you're due for some high probability price action. So, we came up, swept IFVG. I'm in there after the close. I set my break even point to where I'm comfortable in the trade. And then I just let the market do its thing and bang, TP hit. So, yeah, man, that's the strategy. You just have to go and get the experience with it and understand what makes it high probability versus not high probability. And you can start seeing some success with your trading.